One. Welcome to the DJ Storybook interview series, how the COVID-19 has affected the arts and beyond. Welcome everybody, my name is Brian Murphy, I'm the host. So COVID has had people create, people want to innovate, people are collaborating, people are saying, hey, you know what, there's more to it than just social media. And today's guests, they were already collaborators, and I want to go into that, but I also want to go into what they're doing now. And without further ado, this is Derek. We have Derek Ratzenbeck. Hi, Derek.
Hello.
And this is Temple Kemezis.
Hi.
Hi. So I want to talk about arts on air. Talk about what you're doing.
Well, when we came back to New York, we really wanted to find a way to bring live performance back
During COVID.
Yeah, and we were noticing that people were playing out in parks and even around Lincoln Center, and even at that point they would have difficulty where security would remove them or just there were little barriers, nuances. So and we're lucky enough to have our own rooftop terrace, and so it is a private area, and we thought we could have it more under control and people can perform safely. And I just decided to figure out how to this whole live stream situation.
Well, he's the tech brain.
Hey, Derek, it's great. Yeah. It's fun. It's all that stuff. So tell the show you're going to see on Wednesday.
So right now we're doing every Wednesday in September at 7 o'clock until the sun doesn't let us anymore. This Wednesday is Pedro Girardo and his tango quartet. He's a Latin Grammy recipient. We're very excited to have him. He's such a beautiful soul, just in like our small little messages back and forth. Very talented bassist and composer. And it's been word of mouth. We heard about him through
my colleague Ron Wasserman. As we're populating our calendar, we reach out, and it's amazing how people react or respond, and even new pieces are being created now. Last week we had the Weeklies, and they did a world premiere of one of their new pieces. Yeah, You and Your Sister. So it's inspiration.
Great, I loved it.
So, but we bring live performances back to the audience of New York City-based artists and to the world, and we raised money for those artists. And in the last 5 concerts, have we had 5?
I think, yeah, 5.
We've raised $1,800 as a
Oh,
whole.
wow.
And 90% of that goes straight to the artists. So we only take enough, to maybe pay for some of the cables,
some of the cords,
and some of the wine that we give to them. Nice. So it's really just being able to, we know how difficult it is for musicians even to pay the bills right now. So to be able to have a place to reach out that people can donate to, and
we're not only music, we're also dance, and dance is a little bit harder to book right now just because we have to make sure it's safe for the dancers. But I saw Gabrielle Lamb, who's a Guggenheim Fellow, and I saw her work using a carpet. She built this whole carpet series. So I reached out to her, and sure enough, she came, and we had a beautiful collaboration. Derek played. Yeah,
I played the Bach Chaconne, first out in Fort Tryon Park, and then we live streamed it here.
That's great. Yeah. So, let's talk a little about who you guys are, because people who are listening to this, who are these two people? Derek, why don't you go first? Why don't you talk about who you are?
Well, I'm Derek Ratzenbeck. I've been playing with the New York City Ballet Orchestra since 2011. And the past couple of years, been blessed to play as an associate member at the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra, and various studio gigs and all these other great things that New York has to offer. And also have collaborated with my fiance Temple in some pieces ourselves.
So, I got him. He's now the book violinist in the dance world.
What about yes? I mean, it's great collaboration. It's a good partnership,
Yeah.
So Temple, what about you?
I am a freelance ballet dancer for the last 13 years in New York City. as well as I've also turned toward production coordinating. So I'm production coordinator for Steps on Broadway and the Steps Beyond Foundation. And then I also in 2015, started Higher Ground Festival with my co-founder Pablo Francisco Rubalcaba, formerly of the Limon Company. And we've been doing Higher Ground, which brings artists of Northern Manhattan together to network and to create, artists of all disciplines, and create new collaborations presented free to the public.
Nice.
And we've been doing that for 5 years now.
That's the Washington Heights and Inwood neighborhood.
Washington Heights, Inwood, but we've expanded it to Northern Manhattan to include Hamilton Heights, to include Harlem. So,
well, you know, I gotta ask you guys a question. So, I feel like during COVID, we felt like a responsibility to create a you feel a responsibility to create this platform. As an artist, though, Derek, and then Temple, or one of you guys go first, how do you feel personal responsibility as an artist on what's going on in this day?
I feel that arts and culture and music is the heartbeat of Manhattan and a lot of the country, and just to keep the relevance and importance of that art plays in the part of even eventually the economic recovery, but also just the soul of people. I go around, and many of my people, my friends in the building, they really miss going to live performances, whether it be Broadway or opera or, you know, off Broadway, whatever. I mean, that's so much what's so great about New York. And we're getting these artists. We had no idea. I just wanted to start with, like, I personally need that adrenaline. That rush of playing live, you know, that I understand. I mean, that can be really tough for artists that are used to an applause, reaction, be on point for this particular moment. You know,
every show, the performers are like, I have tingles. I have the adrenaline. I feel like they have that. They get it back for a moment. It's so much, even like playing in the, in the parks or whatnot. You don't have that rush. Okay, we're going on now, we're going live, and they get the tingles back and the adrenaline, and they're just smiling, they're so excited and so grateful too, just to get that little bit of them back.
And it's important to keep that going, because we will come back, and this is kind of the thread to attach it to keep people engaged in the meantime.
You know, Temple, being a dancer, obviously you couldn't go into a studio. You can't get your leg up in the air maybe as high as you wanted.
Oh, I mean, in Sarasota, I got the kitchen counter. That was my spot. We moved all the chairs away. But over here I bought some shower pan liner flooring, and it kind of feels like Marley a little bit. And I put that down on the rooftop of the of our Netherlands over there, extra part of our terrace. And I hold onto the bar and I give myself class every morning, and that moment, I come back to myself,
if I was, and I love asking these questions to artists because I'm just kind of curious. And Temple, you can go first. If I were to be sitting in the audience and I'm watching Temple dance, what am I going to see?
Hopefully not me falling.
I mean, as an artist, what type of artist am I going to see?
Oh, that's a hard question to describe yourself as an artist, I feel. I mean, I'm always on point. I love twirling. I'm very, I guess, from other people's descriptions, very musical and very much, I like telling stories when I dance. Even if there isn't a story, I make up a story. So I always am telling a narrative, so I have a good emotional addition to my dancing.
Yes. Derek, when a young musician plays a song or something, it might sound different than it would be 20 years later.
Yeah.
Even as a dancer, but so what about you? How would you define yourself as an artist?
Oh, wow. I mean, it's basically finding your voice in a different way. Finding my voice at a young age, I found that I could express myself more clearly playing the violin even than speaking, you know, the awkward stages growing up. I found a comfort in performing, and I found something that you know, maybe not everyone else could do, and that brings confidence. And also, you know, learning an art form, it instills discipline, and it's like another language. And then the more you're out in the world, the more that you see that other people speak the same language, and you can create together. So I think there's many facets that, even as a young person deciding what to go into, many areas of art can be very fulfilling. Right now, not very much financially, but we're going to get back to it, hopefully.
Time will come. It will come. And that's why I asked the question about responsibility, because you guys have a gift, and you've taken this gift and you say, you know what? I want to create a platform. I want to create an organization like Higher Ground, and I'm going to continue to push who I am to the people who are around me. Do you feel like you're doing that? I feel like you're doing that. I feel like your personality is coming out.
Yeah, I mean, my personality is always like, you know, let's get together and create something. I mean, that has always been my personality, and just I always loved the Ballet Russe era, because you saw, you know, not only was there bring artists together and it doors open. And so I think with this, the art for art to see art.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's not simply about showing us as artists, but the artistic community as a whole.
Yes.
So that's why, you know, I'm not just there playing or just us dancing, you know,
I'm
that would be
on choreography.
That would be a lot to do every week, but we're trying to the many arts which is accessible here.
And it was so interesting, like when we came back to New York, we took like our time to quarantine again and everything. But we started thinking about this, and as soon as we got back to our New York City artist community, just people started coming out of the woodwork. People are like that. People that we booked on tour. We're like, yeah, let's do this. Come on, these gorgeous artists. And it was just something about being in the city and the artists and the perseverance of them, and that's part of the character of the city too. You know.
Yeah, there's new groups that have been formed during this time in COVID, and now some of the first performances were on Arts on Air, you know, so it's
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad we got to meet. I'm really glad I got to hear what you're doing, and I want to just make sure that your link to your show on Wednesday, September 2nd, Arts on Air. Make sure we get that link, and then we'll make sure we get the information between the collaboration, the Higher Ground collaboration. I want to make sure we get that also
today.
Very exciting, and I'm really, you know, I can feel the love. I can feel the energy, and I want everybody out there, rewind a little bit, listen to what you had to say, because I want to make sure that who you are and what you're doing is so valuable in this time. And even when COVID kind of goes away, this still will continue. Doesn't just stop. These things will continue, and I think that's what's really important. And I'm really glad you're able to talk about it today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. And
absolutely.
You're doing beautiful work yourself. You know.
Well, it's not me. You guys are the one doing the work. I mean, I just love hearing the stories.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, DJ Storybook Podcast. And yes, and click the link, check them out. Bye, everybody. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Bye.